Hello, one and all. Welcome back to another AI-only campaign. This here is Campaign 13, Vanilla Sundae. Yes, indeed, it is time we get underway with another one of these campaigns where players submit their ideas into an AI world. They see how they progress, they see what happens, and vanilla tags are right beside them all along the way. So this time around, in Campaign 13, there is no general theme for the campaign. There is only the fact that you can create nations. We're using mods, of course. We are using Doge's Shattered Europa that has been modified somewhat. And that's pretty much it. There is no extra points being given out. There's no extra submissions being given out. All that is changed, really, is just, the mods that I'm using. And also, the trade routes are still reversed from last time, so your end nodes are over here in Lhasa as well as in the Americas. So that'll be interesting as well. But this here is the prologue. We're not going to be going any further than just the 3rd of November 1444. I'm here to read the national ideas of some of these nations. Actually, we don't have as many submissions as last time, unfortunately. Some people, or a lot of people, were busy, which is completely understandable. It is school time, it is work time. This is completely secondary. This is just something fun to do on the side if people want to do it. But we don't have as many submissions this time, so I'm going to try and do this entire prologue in one sitting. So, without further ado, I'm going to do the submissions going down my Excel sheet. And if I miss any submissions to do their first two national ideas, I'll look around, I'll ask around, and I'll do the extras that I miss in part one. But I don't think I'll miss anyone. Also, as per usual, if there is no descriptions per the national ideas, I just read off the modifier and I read off 3 national ideas instead of 2. So, let us go into this. The first submission, this first set of submissions are from me personally. The first one is Zarkunias, and the traditions are fort defense plus 10% and monthly autonomy change minus 0.5. Or 0.05. The first national idea is Sacred Markets of Zarkunias. The place of merchants and deeds of all sorts, the markets have been especially prominent in Zarkunias for generation upon generation. It is said that our founder, Zarkos I Guildspear, gave his rousing speech that told all of his aims to unify the region under one dynasty in the very market that makes our capital so prosperous. Continuing to ensure these sacred areas of neutrality and wealth are kept safe is a matter of great importance to each and every single royal of the Zarak dynasty. Trade efficiency plus 15%. The second national idea is becoming an adult, becoming a soldier. The times have not always been easy on our state as foreign invaders like the Arutexial Empire have fought against us, time and time again without end. Over the course of rulers like Kozos I, Mazosha II, and Ajiziah III, the notion of becoming an adult in Zarkunias has become intertwined with serving in the military for some period of time. It is a sort of rite of passage for most, and it ensures that Zarkunias is more or less prepared for any invasions that come about. Regiment cost minus 10%. And Zarkunias is situated in the middle of the Levant, right next to Sapphire Paradox and their traditional enemies, the Arutexial Empire. The second submission from me personally is the Arutexial Empire, and their traditions are fort defense plus 10% and recover army morale speed plus 10%. The first national idea is the Tuvan clan. One of the 4 aspects of our mythological past, the Tuvan clan clan is said to have been one of the most tolerant and generous clans in our entire home region. Their magnificent works of charity inspired countless poems, songs, and plays to be written about them, but sadly most of those works are now lost to history. We still carry forth that legacy of the Tuvan clan, however, and we will be sure that the Arutaxial Empire embodies an atmosphere of compassion and generosity whenever possible. National unrest -1. The second national idea is the Kitansa warriors. One of the 4 aspects of our mythological past, the Kitansa warriors are said to have struck down enemies across the region not for brutal reasons, but rather to steal and study foreign inventions and ideas that were kept hidden away. Times have changed since then, and though we do not embody the raiding spirit that the Kitansa once put forth, we do strive to learn the most hidden and mysterious aspects of the natural world, just like they did. Idea cost -10%. And they are right next to Zarkonias and a little bit of a ways away from my third submission, Niosva Kes. The traditions of Niosva Kes are naval force limit +20% and ship durability +10%. The first national idea is broken are the divine rights. During prior ages and iterations of Niosva, authority was derived from the heavens above and propped up through the immense power of the clerics and theologians of the land. Those times are long gone, and the era of Kes has meant a distribution of authority away from the holiest people of Niosva and toward those with actual authority: landowners, merchant guilds, and military leaders. All 3 general groups know that it is in their best interest to share power in Niosva, lest they allow the trappings of divinity to come back. Yearly Republican tradition +0.3. The second national idea of Niosva Kes is generational literacy. One positive aspect of Niosva's previous ages of divine authority was the spreading of literacy. Though we now endorse the reading of literature besides what theologians have deemed to be quote-unquote true to the divine, we should not keep our people from investigating ideas in both the physical realm and in the realms beyond the physical. Institution spread +10%. And they are bordering a lot of the Aegean Sea, so they will have contact with Albania as well as Zarkonias, and especially people over in the Adriatic and Western Mediterranean. And then my last submission is Vicura, right over here. The traditions of Vicura are envoy travel time -20%, and the cost of advisors with ruler's religion -20%. The first national idea is the heir, born amidst blood and flame. Across generations that rose and fell across these lands, both sacred and wretched folks gave their lives for what they thought was true and worthy. Such states and dynasties have proven themselves to be lacking in every single area needed to be truly divine, to be truly worthy of the light that shines down from the heavens above. Vicura is what the gods have brought forth amidst the mess of this reality to correct what is wrong, so that the divine may reshape the land once more. Vicura is what will usher in the age of the heavens. Diplomatic reputation -1, yearly devotion +1. And the second national idea is from Vicura, or from all others to Vicura. Many would deny our presence, our strength, our prestige, and our mandate to spread across the realm. It is these dissidents and usurpers of divine authority that must be rooted out by any means necessary, so that everything, both near and far, can be made into a more perfect form. To deny the soldiers and sailors of Valkyria their destiny is to embolden them in the fires of war. Morale of armies plus 7.5% and morale of navies plus 7.5%. And Valkyria is landlocked but is closely surrounded by Tonala, Tezotzil, and then a little bit far away is Yellow Paradox. So those are all the submissions from me personally. The next person we're going to do submissions from is the Cyan Menace and his plethora of paradoxes. So over here in Sapphire Paradox, where is Sapphire Paradox? There we go. I don't believe that he did any descriptions for these, so we're just gonna go through the first three national ideas. For Sapphire Paradox, at least, the traditions are idea cost minus 10% and own territory dice roll bonus plus 1. The first national idea is combat bonus in the terrain of the capital plus 2, and the second national idea is global attacker dice roll bonus plus 1. And the third national idea is global defender dice roll bonus plus 1. So they are very much focused on getting those national ideas very quickly and then winning those pivotal battles through additional dice roll bonuses. Time will tell if they are actually able to, though. Second paradox is Purple Paradox, which is right here. The traditions of Purple Paradox are development cost minus 10% and Merchant Guild Loyalty Equilibrium plus 10%. The first national idea is that they cannot build over force limit. The second national idea is development cost modifier minus 15%. The third national idea is Monarch Diplomatic Skill plus 1. And it seems as though, even though they are a little bit isolated, they will have to deal with Huguenot, Antarctique, and Crimson Paradox in due time. Maybe even Peru. Southern South America is always a little bit isolated, but it is not without its powerful players from the past. Next one is Crimson Paradox. And in the traditions of Crimson Paradox, we have goods produced modifier plus 20%, goods produced flat plus 2, and the first national idea is production efficiency plus 15%. The second national idea is trade efficiency plus 5%, and the third national idea is domestic trade power plus 10%. So they're going to be making huge amounts of money over time. It's going to take a while to get that economy going, but they will be making a lot of money. So we shall see how exactly this goes when they have to go up against Huguenot Antarctique. The next paradox we have on deck is the Shamrock Paradox. Right up here in the good old north, the traditions of the Shamrock Paradox are national manpower modifier plus 22.5% and tech cost minus 10%. The first national idea gives manpower in primary culture provinces plus 25%. The second national idea gives manpower in true faith provinces plus 20%. And the third national idea gives administrative technology costs minus 10%. Excuse me. So very much going for a double whammy of extreme amounts of manpower storage, as well as getting ahead in as much technology as they can, which, hey, that could really work out. Punching above their weight, they may not have like the biggest army per se, but being ahead in technology really does help. Most, if not all the time. And the last paradox we have is, second to last, is the Vermilion Paradox, and then Yellow Paradox is next. The traditions of the Vermilion Paradox is development cost minus 10% and national tax modifier plus 20%. The first national idea is they cannot build over their force limit. The second national idea is infantry fire plus 1. And the third national idea is infantry shock plus 1. So, definitely focusing on infantry and getting money to fund that infantry. It's going to be very interesting to see how they go up against Bumtang, Kathmandu, and maybe Kionjar. I'm curious to see how they do, at least. Our next submission for the last one from the Cyan Menace is Yellow Paradox, right here. The first, or the traditions of Yellow Paradox are fort defense plus 50%, really maxing out for what I allow, and then maximum hostile attrition plus 4. So not like the abased hostile attrition, just the maximum they can experience plus 4. The traditions, the first national idea is that they cannot build over force limit. The second national idea is attrition for enemies plus 2. And then may recruit female generals is the third national idea. So extreme defensiveness here in the jungles and hills. And it is that attrition is gonna be nasty. Like, just look at that. Yeah. And then they're also a stateless society. Like, man. Good luck. Actually, what is their governing capacity? Because this is the prologue. They have a governing capacity of 4. Only 4. Wow. That's minus 99% though, I guess. So I think that is it for the paradoxes. Next up we have Mackey's submissions. We have his first one here at Zanskar. And I was able to sort these out. I was happy that, finally I figured out the issue with any of the Tibetan tags. The traditions of Zanskar are production efficiency plus 10% and fort defense plus 25%. The first national idea is respect for the Gyalpo. Our people have deep respect for our king, and all sorts of decisions are left to him. Whether it be the date of the harvest determining the date when we can move our cattle, or even advice with family quarrels, Zanskaris all turn to the Gyalpo for answers. Yearly legitimacy plus 1. And then the second national idea is Frozen Gate. Our mountainous home, being deep within the Himalayas, is isolated from the world by the many peaks that surround us. The only way in and out of this frigid land is Penzi La, and even that pass is frozen for most of the year. This isolation keeps us safe from most invaders, as anyone who wishes to plunder Zanskar needs to survive the frozen, arid hikes. Attrition for enemies plus 1.5, and maximum hostile attrition plus 1.5. So Zanskar is going to be extremely hard to invade later on. And I just remembered, they have 0 devotion. They're supposed to have 100. I'm not sure why. They have 0 devotion. I'm gonna take a drink after I read the next one, because this is a lot of talking. I basically have to talk for like an hour straight. The next one is Chu Chen, right over here. And the traditions of Chu Chen are land force limit plus 30% and garrison size plus 20%. The first national idea is daily vendettas. The people of Jinchuan thirst for power. We will not stop, or we will stop at nothing to achieve our goals, and will not rest until all is complete. Secrecy and betrayal are all commonplace in our nation, and it shall remain forever so, as one would say about us in Chinese. Vendettas are their daily business. Spy network construction plus 20%. The second national idea is an unwelcoming country. Jinchuan is an unwelcoming country to all, characterized by harsh winter breezes from the glaciers as well as frequent robberies and food shortages. Our hardy people are the only ones that could survive the unforgivable nature of this land. And we shall live in solace knowing that our culture will thrive for 1,000 years. Attrition for enemies +1, and land attrition -10%. Indeed, Chu-Chen is in a very inhospitable region. Jinchuan is itself, or the capital, Highlands. Daoju, Highlands. Garzei is Highlands. It's all Highlands. And then right next to them is some glacial provinces. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. The next one from Mackie is Bumtang, right here. The traditions of Bumtang are fort defense +25% and yearly legitimacy +1. The first national idea is Dung families. The kingdom of Bumtang is home to the Dung families of Ura and Mongar, as well as other small clans in Sheungno. These nobles hold many influence in our state, and keeping them loyal is a must for us. Nobility loyalty equilibrium +10%. The second national idea is Bumtang Valley. Bumtang Valley is a very fertile region, being a main producer of agricultural products in the otherwise rugged landscape. National manpower modifier +20%. So Bumtang, definitely going to have it out with Vermilion Paradox and Kathmandu. Zanskar is going to have N9X to deal with over here, but Chu-Chen is kind of isolated in comparison to all the others. Let's go on to Mackie's next submission in the Old World, which is Yadava. The traditions are cavalry combat ability +15% and yearly legitimacy +1.5. The first national idea is Deogiri Fort. Our new capital is at Devagiri, a city atop a very defensive hill. By cutting away at the lower slopes of this hill and building a solid defensive wall, we ensure a sturdy and secure home for our burgeoning dynasty. And the second national idea is Sangita Ratnakara. Written by Sangadeva, it is a treatise on Sangita, both classical and regional forms. It has 8 chapters, and this is going to be very hard for me to pronounce. I'll try the first one, but I'm not going to try all of them. Svaragathadhyaya. That is very hard to pronounce. I'm not going to try the others because I need to move on, but in the end, it's a legacy. Its legacy is long-lasting. Idea cost -10%. So I have high hopes. This is the only historical submission for the entire subcontinent. I was thinking about doing some myself, but I decided I want to do some stuff from my high school years. So high hopes for Yadava. And Mackie's New World submission is Teardrop from the show that they watch. Oh, and I got Prestige 100 because they switched to Catholicism. And he said he wanted autocracy. Yes, I will switch it over to Prussian monarchy once the Protestant Reformation happens and they switch over to Protestantism. But Teardrop over here, they have no descriptions in the national ideas, so I'm going to go through 3 of them. The traditions of Teardrop are morale of navies +10% and shock damage +10%. The first national idea is 1 drop army. Land force limit -3. Land force limit modifier -50%. And then shock damage received -20%. The second national idea is silent but deadly. Diplomats -1. Discipline +5%. And opinion of non-accepted culture -30. And the third national idea is Teardrop's pirate adventure. Privateer efficiency +15%. And they may raid coasts, including coasts of countries with the same religion. So, there are ups and downs to Teardrop's national ideas. Time will tell if they will be able to hold out against the rising tide of Big Caddo and other neighbors throughout the Caribbean. We'll see. Let's see. And the next submissions are from Virivi. So let me take a drink real quick and we will see these exiles somewhere along the coast of the Mediterranean. Man. Let's get this real quick. Got that nice blueberry flavor. So this one here, this is the successor, quote-unquote, to Strathclyde from last campaign. This is Strathclyde in exile, essentially, because they did very well, despite losing their homeland in the British Isles. So the traditions of Strathclyde in exile, which I will call it that because I cannot pronounce this name really. Yearly army tradition +1 and fort defense +15%. The first national idea is the first exiles. Strathclyde could not have survived for much longer in the fiery region of Hen Ogledd. We settled in Cairmeis in the region of Sbain. I don't know how to pronounce that at all. The loss of Altclut may have been devastating, but in Cairmeis, we shall recover. Move capital costs -60%. The second national idea is the sun-kissed harbors. Our new Hispanic homeland has far greater potential than our regional station on the Clyde. But to realize this potential in the land, we must take advantage of its supreme location, bringing the Atlantic and Mediterranean Abridging the Atlantic and Mediterranean seas. Center of trade upgrade cost -20%. So I am very excited to see what the exiles here do. Not only them though, but the other exiles too. Yes, I'm talking about the exiled Dumnonia. I cannot pronounce this at all, by the way, so not gonna attempt it. But the traditions of Dumnonia in exile is production efficiency +10% and naval force limit +15%. The first national idea is the Dumnonian Sea. As we came from the Cornish Peninsula, our maritime traditions drew us to the coast for our first settlements. But our sea is not uncontested. Many peoples already live here, and they want us out. Only superior seamanship will win us the day. Galley combat ability +10%. The omnipotent force. With our foothold in the mainland secured, our army has had to face many adversaries, and has bested them all. With this experience and tactical expertise, all it takes is rigorous training on top of that, and we would become an unstoppable army. Discipline +5%. And if you watch the previous campaign, you will know that yes, it looked like Dumnonia from the last campaign was unstoppable in Scandinavia and taking over the Baltic. They even beat Belobog for the first couple wars they engaged in. But Belobog turned it into overdrive in the second half, and they eventually started absolutely dismantling Dumnonia. With that being said, then our next submission from Virivi is Santon. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I think I am, but we'll see. Actually, hold on. Who submitted? Oh, okay, no. Wanted to make sure I was getting that right. Santon, their traditions are production efficiency +20% and ship cost -20%. The first national idea is Land of the Santoni. While our political independence as a country is recent, the origins of Santon draw from further back. The name of the country derives from the Santonese tribe, a prosperous tribe between the Gironde and Charente rivers, where Santon is today. Excuse me. Yearly legitimacy +1. And the second national idea is Eutrope's Mine, or Eutrope's Meter. I'm not sure how to say that at all. Saint Eutropus was the first bishop of Santes, who was sent to Christianize the region of Gaul, including what is now Santon. Despite his enigmatic nature, his main feat, Christianizing Santon, is still remembered in oral traditions and our emblem. Tolerance of the true faith, +3. They will have to tough it out versus Wasconia Gascony, though. Curious to see what's going to happen between these two. And the next one is Huguenot Antarctique. Yes, the exiles indeed. The traditions of Huguenot Antarctique is global settler increase +15 and clergy loyalty equilibrium +15%. The first national idea is arriving on the land. This land was relatively untapped and unexplored by other colonial powers. With the first 200 colonists having arrived, our first step is to develop the land. Our first step to develop the land is to call on more colonists and support to arrive from the homeland. Colonists +1. The second national idea is Brazil wood forests. The Portuguese further north have traditionally monopolized the Brazil wood exports to Europe, including France. Producing and exporting the good directly to Europe would upset our colonial neighbors, but would kickstart our fledgling economy. Production efficiency +15%. And I do have to check again to see if they're supposed to change to Protestantism or Reformed after the Reformation hits. Let's see. The next submissions, I'm getting a little bit of a headache too, because I've been speaking so much. Oh. The next submissions are from Akamatsu, and these are the slot machines. Indeed. We got 4 slot machines to go through. First one is 9X, which is... Where's 9X? No? Oh, I guess this is it. N9X. Yeah, okay. The traditions of N9X. Movement speed +20% and fleet movement speed +2. And the first national idea is combat bonus in the terrain of the capital +2. The second national idea is construction time -40%. And the third national idea is colonial subject upgrade cost -20%. Interesting. Let me just check something real quick. I gotta just check one thing. Where is it at? There it is. Oh, okay. Alright. I just wanted to make sure. But N9X, the first national idea, at least movement speed +20%, is going to be great around here. So they'll be moving around really quickly. They just have no direct contributions to their military from their national ideas for a while until they get their first national idea. So maybe an early war with Zanskar is a toss-up. I'm not sure. Let's see. The next one from Akamatsu is GOQ, which is right here. The traditions of GOQ. Yearly papal influence +1 and yearly Republican tradition +0.15. The first national idea is global prosperity growth +0.05. The second national idea is reinforced speed +22.5%. The third national idea is monthly air claim increase +0.2, which is a little weird because the tradition and the third national idea are in conflict. They're a republic though, so your air is not going, there's no air involved, so that third national idea is going to be useless. Next is 9MA, which is right here. And the traditions of 9MA are state maintenance -20% and transfer trade acceptance +25. The first national idea is morale of armies plus 20%. The second national idea is monthly autonomy change cooldown minus 20%. And the third national idea is may recruit winged hussars. So I'm not sure how that third national idea is going to work, but okay. So it goes. And the last one for Akamatsu is HFY 5. Sounds like a little bit of a radio station. The traditions of HFY 5 are cavalry, flanking ability plus 100%, and appoint cardinal cost minus 25%. The first national idea is infantry combat ability plus 20%. The second national idea is no stability loss on monarch death. And then the third national idea is manpower recovery speed plus 20%. So very powerful stuff for the region. But who's to say that they'll be able to capitalize on those good national ideas? I don't know. They might have to deal with the enemies around them in an alliance chain. Oh man. I am getting a little bit of a headache from just talking so much. Because normally I don't. It's been a while since I have done an AI only campaign. Oh man. It feels like it's been a while. It's been like a month and a half, I guess. The next submissions are from Q9626, and his first one, Q9626. So these are all submissions he did for the last campaign, which is fine. I have no issue with that, because he now put localization for all of them, which is cool. So his first submission here, Wasconia Gascony. It's got the same stuff as last time. With the traditions are yearly gold inflation reduction plus 0.2, and then vassal force limit contribution plus 100%. The first national idea is the Saint of the Mountains. Our patron saint is Saint Yves, an 11th century man from Armagnac County. He moved into the deep Pyrenees in his later life, where everyone viewed him as one with mystical powers. The mountains he sat upon now is the largest religious site in all of Aquitaine. Tolerance of the true faith plus 3. And the second national idea is the Marchlands. Our domain has traditionally been on the southern edge of the French kingdom, the first line of defense against any Iberian incursions. As such, the duchies of Wasconia and Gascony have the most readied levies in all of France. A national manpower modifier plus 22.5%. Wasconia is indeed ready for whatever comes their way. The next one is Myeongvax. Again, I still don't know. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm trying here. The traditions of Myeongvax are national tax modifier plus 15% and shock damage plus 20%. The first national idea is one Wa state. The Wa people have traditionally been divided into many states ruled by Salfas, their realms being little more than fortified hill villages, with attempts at confederation being short-lived. But as we look beyond, our need for solidarity only increases. The second national idea, that gives diplomatic annexation cost minus 15%. The second national idea is Nix Mog. Mog. Every village of the Wa people has a shrine where ritual blood sacrifices were held. Whether it be chickens or pigs for alleviating illness, human heads for fertile fields, or throughout weddings and funerary rituals, sacrifices remain omnipresent. Tolerance of the true faith plus 3. And just like, similar to last time, I am curious to see if they convert religions. Last time did they convert to Buddhism? I can't remember what they converted to. But it was just a surprise to see that they converted away from animism and toward something else completely on their own. It was the AI's decision when they took over some land to convert. The next one from Q9626 is the Basri Order, the old juggernaut that was struck down when they were at their peak, struck down by Belobog. The traditions of the Basri Order are national tax modifier and plus 10%, and administrative tech costs minus 10%. The first national idea is clerical administration. Our Sufi order has controlled the lands of Basra since the days of Muhammad. As such time itself can attest to the efficiency of our government, bureaucrats and record-keeping are tools that can easily be translated from clerical duty. Governing capacity plus 20%. The second national idea is Ashraf's legacy. One of the figures most associated with our order is Ashraf, the Imam of Ahvaz and Basra. Born in the dawn of the Caliphate, his orthodox interpretation of Islam is revered across the Muslim world to this day, and we still bear his legacy. Tolerance of the true faith plus 2. And I still remember the Basri Order kicking the ass of my submissions, so I haven't forgotten that. I'm curious to see what happens to you this time. The next one from Q9626, I think, is the Golden Eighth. Let me see. Yes, it is. It is the Golden Eighth. The monster of North America from last time. The traditions of the Golden Eighth are national tax modifier plus 10% and missionary strength plus 2%. The first national idea is the Western Expedition. Our colony is on the edge of civilization and the known world, surrounded by a sea of hostile territory. If we want to tame the land, we must first find the correct paths for our armies and settlers to use, likely employing the natives for scouting duties. Movement speed plus 20%. The second national idea is New Cibola. The charter was nicknamed Golden Eighth as the gold deposits here are so plentiful that our settlement of Humeda has been called the 8th city of Cibola. This natural wealth has not been must not be overexploited as to come to economic disaster, though. Yearly inflation reduction plus 0.2. So those are all the submissions from Q9626. And the next submissions are from Sekan. Sekan, I don't know if Sekan did localization, but we shall see. Sekan's theme, I suggested some you can do Germanic tribes if you want, and I listed them off, and Sekan was like, yeah, sure. No, there is no localization, which is fine. The first national idea of the traditions of the Cheruski are stability cost modifier minus 10%, infantry combat ability plus 15%. The first national idea is combat bonus in terrain of capital plus 2. The second national idea is yearly legitimacy plus 1.5. And the third national idea is spy network construction plus 20%. And interestingly enough, they are bigger than all of the other Germanic tribes that Sekan submitted. So, for the Alemanni, the traditions are national manpower modifier plus 22.5% and land leader siege plus 1. That's very powerful. The first national idea is available loot plus 45%. The second national idea is morale damage plus 20%. The third national idea is morale of armies plus 15%. So early on, if Alemanni survives to get their first few national ideas, they should be a very, very powerful force in terms of just what they can field for their neighbors, like as an ally. The third submission from Sekan are the Angles. And the traditions of the Angles are national sailors modifier plus 20% and naval combat off owned coast. Or naval combat bonus off of owned coast plus 3. The first national idea is Land Leader Shock +1. The second national idea is Own Territory Dice Roll Bonus +1. And the third national idea is Naval Force Limit +15%. So definitely getting ready for that Angle invasion over here to make some Anglo-Saxons, maybe. We'll see. The next submissions are from Cravens. I am in for one hell of a time with these submissions. Dear God. Let me take a swig of my drink real quick. Okay. So this is the Nelter League, and the traditions of the Nelter League are development cost -10% and own territory dice roll bonus +1. The first national idea is Cities in Harmony. The very creation of the League of the Nelters has been a monumental achievement for our great people, oftentimes made to turn against each other by our hubris and our need to be better than our neighbors. It has been since the withdrawal of the Takran Empire from our lands, however, that we learned that there are threats out there much realer, much more nefarious, and overwhelming than any one of our neighbors is. In the end, we are all Nelters. We share in the same origin, the same gods, and the same grand vision for the future. Only together can we thrive and bring our holy lands the prosperity that our gods have ordained us to bring. National unrest -1, yearly Republican tradition +1. The second national idea is Manor Men. Since the years of intercity strife, the manor lords of the Nelters sought ways to defend their estate and allies from the schemes and coveting eyes of hostile nobles. Initially, this came in the form of Cromnan mercenaries or mountaineers under payroll, but none of those ways proved completely secure, for while a mercenary can be hired, so too can he be outbought by the enemy. It was eventually decided by the Lord of Ermola that this way of achieving the security of his manors was no longer viable. What he replaced that system with was rather simple: the creation of manor towns, and the military recruitment of each second son living within. The men unfit for the inheritance of their families' estates could still find purpose in the defense of their communities, as long as they took up no wives of their own. These men could then be devoted to a life of military training and live in the higher acropoles of their hometowns, in direct service to their lords. In this manner, they could provide financially for their families, whilst also defending their lord's interest as part of the mannerly retinue. The Nelter League has no need for such measures anymore, but the principles these manor men represented is one that may well prove of use to it, should it be modified to fit the changing times. Production efficiency +10%, infantry combat ability +10%. So, the Nelter League, they will be competing directly with Wasconia, but even more so than Wasconia, they are competing with their rival right across the border. They are bordering even Cagoeda. The traditions of Cagoeda are production efficiency +10% and shock damage +15%. The first national idea is Feed Off the Land. Skirmishers and campaigners par excellence, true Cagoedans know to sustain themselves while on the march with whatever they can find, making meals and rations out of scrapings that others wouldn't even consider. For who in the land of the plenty would stop to consider the lowly mosses, barks, fungi, and bugs as nutritious? Land attrition -10%, movement speed +15%. Memories of the Calamity. What today constitutes Cagoeda and North Imansorks were areas that once served as the breadbasket of the great empire. Grains, fruits, cash crops, vegetables, whatever you could think of, it would grow here. Their days are long gone, however, more ancient than the very alphabet we use to write with, or the very concept of paper. For almost 2 millennia ago, the Sagorsan calamity struck, and while the totality of the continent suffered for the spawning of that vile lake, none did so more than us. We saw our lands turn to steppe, the dirt in the north turn to sand beneath our feet, and be blown away by skin-tearing winds, leaving naught but the exposed bedrock below. Our cities starved and were enveloped by the scalding embrace of anarchy, leading them to ruin. The great empire abandoned us, preferring to tend to Emansorx and its colonies in Elcorx than to alleviate our plight. And we in turn suffered on our lonesome, beset by warlords on all edges and overrun by the apostles of death come the 6th century. Despite all the hardships that have flagellated us, however, our people stuck together, and our communities stood defiant in the face of the calamity, collapse, and conqueror alike. This memory of shared woes still manages to bring our people together, no matter what their differences may be. Stability cost modifier minus 10%. So indeed, there is a great story to be told here between Kagoeda and the Nelter League. We shall see what happens between these two. And, what happens when the exiled Strathclyde comes into contact too. Or even if Avignon joins the fray or the Italians join the fray, because we did have our winners most of our winners, we had most of our winners from the last campaign pick out their vanilla tags, because, I decided to institute that, where if you win campaign awards with your submissions, you get to choose vanilla tags for the next campaign. So for this campaign 13, Senor Mango chose Kathmandu over here. Q9626 chose 3 tags. He chose Florence, Etruria, and Tuscany. He wanted to make my life hell because all 3 of these tags, they share the same capital at Fiorenza, so it's going to be fun, I guess, with this mini Thunderdome, I guess. And then I won 1 category, so I wanted to have a rival to the papacy. I chose Avignon. And then Red Panda chose 2 tags. He chose Courland, she chose Courland. And then she chose Quebec. For some reason, Quebec's capital is not down here or here. I think it should be like one of these two, but it is not. For some reason, it's right here. Wine from Perigord. Interesting. And then, what's it called? Duck. He won 1 category from last campaign, and he chose Gogrieo, which is a Doge Shattered Europa tag. Because he said Korea looked a little bit empty, which I agree. It's pretty empty. Pepsi won a category from last campaign. However, he did not tell me what he wanted. There were no DMs or anything, so I chose for him, and I chose Huron because this area needs a little bit more attention. So with that being, I've almost forgot 1 tag. I almost forgot to do 1 tag. Right here, staring at me right here, Big Cato. This is Duck's submission. He has been very busy, and so he was only able to do this one. But Big Cato does return, and this time there is no Big Cascadia yet. Who knows? I don't know. But the traditions of Big Cato are manpower recovery speed plus 15% and prestige from land battles plus 100%. The first national idea of Big Cato is morale of armies plus 15%. The second national idea is idea cost minus 10%. And the third national idea is production efficiency plus 15%. Not only all of that, but Big Cato starts with 5 provinces. So they should get off to a nice start here, and, you know, we'll see how it goes. I don't really think there's anything else, because I think that's all of the tags inside this AI-only campaign. And I'm very curious to see what happens when we shove off for part 1. Anyways, yeah, thank you all so much for watching this prologue. And I will see you all for the very first part of Campaign 13, Vanilla Sundae.